You can think later, but if you don't call out now, it'll be too late. The trial will be over.
Hold it!
Wait, Miss Brett. What is it now? I'm afraid, just one last time. There's something I'd like to ask you. I'd like you to explain the contradiction in your parting words from just a few moments ago. What are you talking about? What contradiction?
Objection!
What new stupid nonsense is this? Well, what parting words are you talking about, Ryunosuke? Hiding a coin under a lump of meat? The sheer nonsense of such an idea astounds me. As for picking up your steak and biting into it without using a knife and fork, it's beyond nonsense. It's pure madness. Yes, I'm right. What you said there exposed an undeniable contradiction. I'm going to need to see evidence, Consul. If Miss Brett's words truly are contradictory, where is the evidence to prove it? Okay, so we need to prove that it's the wrong steak. I'm not sure which piece of evidence necessarily proves it. Ah! This steak has bite marks on it, not knife marks. Therefore, it's not her steak. Also had a coin underneath it, so yeah, it's this. That's what they're looking for. The steak that Miss Brett had been eating before the professor was killed? Yes, go on. It's... How am I the only one who's noticing this is not her steak? Like, the mere fact that the coin was there means it's not her steak. More accurately, Your Excellency, the steak that was on the victim's table just before the professor was killed. Now you're just splitting hairs. Not true. Doesn't something about this steak strike you as very unnatural? Unnatural? What on earth do you mean? It's extremely obvious. I'm talking about the shape of the edge where it's been eaten. I see you've noticed it too, Miss Brett. Noticed what exactly, Consul? Or Counselor, whatever. Just a few moments ago, Miss Brett claimed no Englishman could even contemplate picking up a steak and biting into it without using a knife and fork. Of course she did! She's a refined English gentlewoman herself! And take a good look at this steak in particular, the edge where it's been eaten. As you can see, there are clearly defined barbaric teeth marks there. Ah, oh! Huh? It looks like Miss Brett has realized something. So, if the witness, as she claims, wouldn't contemplate eating anything without using a knife and fork, there shouldn't be teeth marks in the steak at all. But, what is your actual point? Perhaps the delightful Miss Brett was a ravenous... Oh, that's a new pose. Oh, whatever you say, dear lady. As I said, I really must be leaving now. Afternoon tea with the Minister of Justice cannot possibly wait any longer. Of course, of course. This will be all over in the blink of an eye. Rest assured, I'm about to put this rookie in his place. Just leave every... I've heard enough. You irritating little spectacled samurai relic. Of course. Dear lady. What's the matter, Miss Brett? Have we ruffled your feathers? Clearly, the witness knows what this means. She's realized the catastrophic implications these teeth marks in the steak have for her. Inosuke, do you know where you're going with this? Of course, I've known where I've been going with this for like an hour now. Yes, now at last it's all come together. The mysterious teeth marks in a steak that had allegedly been eaten with cutlery. The reason why the blood stain I know I saw somehow seems to have disappeared. And most importantly, the evidence that proves once and for all who shot Dr. Wilson that day. I accept that these teeth marks in the steak are a little unnatural, as you put it, Counsel. But what exactly are you suggesting that tells us? Everything, Your Excellency. Everything? Yes, I believe that these barbaric teeth marks in the steak here amount to conclusive evidence in this case. Evidence that will prove beyond any doubt who shot Dr. Wilson. Conclusive evidence? How many times have I heard that today? You would know the meaning of the phrase, typical Japanese empty threats. How can you be so sure? Oh, it's quite simple. If you really had such conclusive evidence, you would have presented it to the court long ago. Actually, the evidence I'm talking about hasn't been brought before the court yet. Hasn't been... what? But just because it hasn't been shown yet, doesn't mean that the evidence does not exist. This is absurd. This trial's run several hours already, and you say there's evidence yet to be brought forward? There can't be. I don't believe you have it. I don't, but there is someone who does have it. Someone in this very courtroom. And if that person is willing to submit the piece of evidence I'm referring to, it will solve every remaining mystery about this case. Very well. I have a feeling this will be my last request of the defense in this trial. Who possesses the conclusive evidence that will reveal the truth about this whole affair? It is none other than Satoru Hosonaga. The answer is obvious. The Inspector Hosonaga. What? I have it? Yes. You think I've been withholding conclusive evidence? No, I'm not saying that. Everyone's attention has been focused on the steak with the teeth marks. Yes. Now, earlier this afternoon, Sergeant Nosa told the court the following. I'd enjoyed chomping my way through a good steak. And as well as admitting to stealing Korakuda-san's coin, he told us that he slipped it under the steak. You watch it, cadet. I'm a superior officer. Sergeant Nosa, could you please confirm something for me? Was the steak that you put the coin under, in fact, your own steak? Chun. Affirmative, of course. Might be a soldier in the Imperial Nippon Army, but still. I'm not brave enough to ask a foreign gentle lady if she'd mind me manhandling her meal to hide something in it. In other words, the steak that the detective submitted as evidence earlier was in fact Sergeant Nosa's meal. But that makes no sense! That plate was taken from the victim's table. Yet the gentlewoman doesn't take bites out of her steak, nor did she have any opportunity to steal the coin. Of course I didn't steal it. To even suggest such a thing would be an affront to the entire British Empire. Yes, the British Empire. Totally known for never stealing anything, certainly not land. Or gold. Well then, how do you explain this paradox? Exactly! Surely you're not going to suggest. Had the sergeant switched the two steaks over. I'm not sure who did, but someone did. You did switch the plates? Well, after it happened, I saw the civilian had been murdered right in front of my eyes like that. I panicked. As I said, I immediately lifted my stake and hit the coin underneath it. But then when the waiter announced he was an undercover policeman, I thought I'd had it. If he decided to investigate my slab of meat, that'd be it. I'd be getting my marching orders. So when the cadet here was arrested and taken off to the kitchen, I seized my chance. With military precision and timing, I switched my steak with the one on the foreign lady's table. What? You can't have. I never saw you do such a thing. It was called Operation Lightning Bolt. There was no time for strategic planning. It was do or die, I tell you. So yes, I did what had to be done. Unbelievable. However, fear not, Prosecutor-san. What now? I swear on the brass buttons on my uniform, that is all I did, sir. All you did? That's plenty, sergeants.
Yes.
So, if Sergeant Osa switched the plates over, it means he took Miss Brett's steak, and the plate it was on, back to his own table. Yes, that follows. Inspector Hasanaga? Yes. Early in this trial, you told the court this. Like, we know where this is going. We get to the point already. I guess you gotta establish a foundation in court, but man, it's taking a while. You said that you had not only taken Miss Brett's steak after the incident, but also the sergeant's. That to preserve evidence, you had taken both. That's correct. Then please present it to the court now. The plate that was actually on the victim's table at the precise moment he was shot. What can that possibly tell us now? I mean, a cold slab of tough meat? It can't have the slightest bearing on this case.
Objection.
No, you're not wriggling your way out of this at this time, lady. I beg your pardon? Sure, you're not that forgetful. Sure, you remember the reason why the steak ban promises to prove such a problem for you, no? You're the ones who decided it was a problem, not me. The reason the defense asked to see that plate was to confirm something the defendant remembers seeing. Thinks he remembers. I'm quite sure of what I saw, Miss Brett. On the side of the plate that was on the table, directly behind Dr. Wilson, there was a clear splattering of blood from the gunshot wound to the victim's chest. I believe the defendant's memory serves him well. And now we have the evidence to prove it. The plate you're reading from, Miss Brett. Let us not prolong this any further. Inspector, you will show the evidence to the court. Present the beef steak and plate that was originally on the victim's table at the time of the incident. Yes, sir. Ah, there we go. Sorry for keeping you. Here's the other steak and its plates. Please feel free to examine it. Well then, the blood stain. It's clearly visible, look!
Yes.
Now this makes everything clear. The blood you can see on the side of the plates. shows that at the moment the victim was shot, he was facing the table, with his back to me. In other words, it's impossible for Naruhodo-san to have shot the victim. Huh? It can't be! In fact, there's only one person who could possibly have shot Dr. Wilson from the front. I'm sure everyone knows by now who that person is. That's right. Miss Giselle Bretz. It's you! Oh, it's done. By a Japanese? Me? By a Japanese school? What? No. That ad is lively. Where are all these birds coming from? I don't think you can get out of punishment that easily, but that's just like ascending to heaven or whatever. Please excuse my little outburst. I briefly lost my composure. Most unbecoming behavior for an English gentlewoman. Forgive me. Well, Miss Bretz? I think it's time you told the court what actually happened that day. The truth, this time. Gladly, Your Excellency.